Good afternoon, traders. Thanks for joining me today. It is December 29th, 2025. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and is looking forward to New Year's. Wanted to share a trade that I did today on WOK, and this was in the pre-market. I sat down to my computer about 6:10, and this stock had moved up on the scanners that I utilize, and I ended up I drew these to help everybody, but I drew these green lines for my entries, the pink lines for my exits, and I've also got my trading monitor window right over here as well, so you can see that. But I ended up taking this first entry here. This candle ended up being pretty strong, other than this topping tail, meaning there was a lot of kind of buying action on the level two. So as it pulled back slightly, I took an entry here looking for then a move back up through $6 a share. And one of the principles that I've strictly been adhering to is that I assume that I'm wrong until proven otherwise. And that has helped me to exit these losing trades a lot faster, which has been great. So as you can see, I took this initial entry at 558, ended up risking 37 cents a share, a little more than I normally would, but it was a smaller position, just 500 shares. So as this pulled back pretty hard and broke this low, which is about 527, I just exited. I got right out. And then we kind of hold the VWAP. I was watching this still since it was about the only thing really moving on the scanners. And it had this really strong, pull back here to about 490 and then just ripped back up to the VWAP. So at that point, I felt like there was some strength there. Took a little early entry here at about 528 a share, $5.28. And then as this proved me right, meaning we kind of recaptured this ADMA, I added to my position. Now, the second principle that I've really been following is that I expect to be uncomfortable. And these are principles from Tom Hogard's book, and it is titled Best Loser Wins. Definitely recommend that book if you're struggling with trading. Definitely go look it up. I've probably been through it 30 or 40 times in the last 6 months. It's been phenomenal. I love listening to audiobooks, and I've had a lot of opportunity to go through it. It has helped me tremendously. And so the second principle about expecting to be uncomfortable was that as this moved up and then pulled back, I knew my stop loss was below the low of this candle. Basically 510 is what I was going to risk. So, at an average cost of about 535, I was risking 25 cents on my 1,000 shares. And, you know, because of that principle, I've had a little easier time holding, even if I'm red. And then as this ripped up, the stock's proven me right. And the third principle that Tom Hogard talks about is that I add when I'm right. And so I went ahead and added here. In the past, I would have normally been kind of panic selling. I would have seen this come up back and then just like wanting to break even and just panic selling to get out. But instead, I'm managing that by actually adding to my position and kind of combating that normal behavior. And so I added right there at 557. You can see that. And then because we had these topping tails, I was looking to take some off as we got up to $6 a share. Now, I didn't take any here. I really wanted to see if this was going to hold six, because if it had gotten above six and held, I would have been looking to probably add with six holding and then look for a new high of day. That's not what happened, as you can see. And, I could have assumed break even as we broke below the ADMA, but there really wasn't anything else moving. We were coming into the market open. I still knew where my pivot was down here. And so I just decided to kind of sit tight. I had 1,000 shares there, so just kind of held on. And as these came together and this pivot held about 527, I was looking to add again. So pivots holding, we're coming up. We end up hitting 549 is where I added again at 560. That's these two candles right there at 929, right before the market open. And then coming into the market open, what I was looking for again is, were we going to break these pivots? Now, I was willing to take 1,000 shares off. So I took 500 off here at 587. Excuse me, that upper one, 587, and again, another 500 at 583. I had those sell limit orders just out there. And once it hit that, it just kind of tanked and pulled back. And I just got out break even on the rest for the final 1,000 shares. And that's okay. I have really enjoyed assuming break even on the rest of my position. It has helped me combat kind of just getting out too early, panic selling. panicking about little pullbacks that happen instead of just really staying focused on what I'm seeing on the level two and kind of the price action, and also taking into consideration these prior wicks and if the stock can't break those. So, in disclaimer, I've been paper trading, and I want to highlight this really quick. This is my paper trading history as of October. I've been paper trading since June of 2025, and I've got a series coming out on YouTube about that and kind of this paper trading journey. And people are going to downplay everything you do. So don't get worked up if somebody says, "Well, paper trading's not real, like it's not the same emotion." I mean, I guess okay, to an extent, I can get on board with that, with the exception that it's as real as you make it. If you are strictly trying to follow a set of rules and a set of principles, and you're really, really paying attention to your emotions and how you're feeling, and you're going back and doing what I just did by, taking a look at these entries and exits and trying to figure out, okay, why did I do what I did? If you're doing those things, then paper trading can be a huge, huge asset to you, because it allows you to learn without putting significant amounts of capital on the line. Like, you can look at my November. I mean, this would have been gut wrenching in real dollars, right? And one of the things that I've been battling, and I'll show you this, is these really big loss days. These, 14,000, 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, 14, 19, 8. And I've really been pushing myself while I'm paper trading to be willing to follow what Tom Hogard talks about, which is be the best loser. Just give up. And not give up like you're going to give up on trading altogether, but on that day, recognize this isn't the final exam. This isn't the last trade you're ever going to place. Become a really good loser. And that doesn't mean you want to lose. It just means that you're okay recognizing that it just might not be today. And if you can limit these really big blow up days, you can actually find success if you've got a decent system and that you can, push yourself to consistently follow that. And so I'm really excited to show you here my December, and to show you this progression. Now, it's barely profitable in October, massive loss in November. And then here we come in December, and there's some really good consistency going on. Now, as I mentioned, here's one of those days, this $5,700 day, where it's like, if I stick to my max loss of $1,250, now all of a sudden I can add another 4,500 to this day, which makes that weekly number just over $8,000, which is awesome on a week, right? And so I've been able to find consistency. You can see in December, I really stuck to my max loss here, really close here, just over it there by about $250. I didn't really love this. I was a little frustrated with myself when I ended the day. But then now adding today, let me pull up my my position summary here so you can see that today. So now adding in today another 978 here on the 29th, we're looking pretty good for December. And that's what I mean by that. Paper trading can be as real as you make it. It is it has been critical for me to push myself to really focus on paper trading, not put real money at risk, give proof of concept, show myself that I can be consistently profitable following a system, managing my emotions when I start to feel that I'm a little bit off, sizing down, all of the things that are going to be critical to my success and probably your success in an ongoing fashion. So again, people want to down whatever you're doing. Don't listen to the naysayers who talk about how paper trading is not real. Look, yeah, if you're trying to trade $100 million paper trading, of course that's not real. But if you're treating it like, okay, I'm not going to take a position any larger than $10,000 or $15,000, or I'm not going to risk more than 15 cents a share on any given trade. Like, when you start to put some, bumpers up in that lane and some guide rails to keep yourself within, it can become very real. So again, I'm an advocate of paper trading. I will be transitioning to real money at some point in 2026. I just want to continue this process of proving myself that I can be consistently profitable, because that's the name of the game. It's fun to look at days where you're like, oh, you made $6,800 here in December, or you made $3,100 here. But what's the point in that if you then end up like barely breaking even in a month? That's not really the name of the game. The name of the game is December, right? It's this consistency that you're looking for, and recognize you're going to have some losing days. Stick to your max loss and then push it the next day, as far as push yourself to perform. Don't push it to earn this back, but push yourself to perform. Hope that was helpful for everyone. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, send any comments. I'm happy to chat and discuss and dialogue together. We all get better together. So again, give me a like and a subscribe. Take care.